Hey, Blam here from SC2Strat.net, bringing you a Stratcast where we're highlighting ZvP play. Where we're going to look at just kind of the power of force fields and the power of the Zerg economy. What we're ultimately going to see here is a Zerg build where basically Roach Infestor prevails. And a lot of that has to do with just keeping the Zerg economy ahead of your opponent, as well as just the power of fungal, really, from the infestors. So yeah, that's what we're going to see here. I'm going to speed it up just a tad until we get to some actual scouting and some of the first bases laid. What you see is a fast expansion here from the Zerg player. He goes hatchery first at 15. Just going to push his Overlord out to make sure there's nothing fishy going on there. And you see the red player down here, Protoss, pumping that out. We'll put their names up top there. We got Jaegan in the red base playing as Protoss versus FuzzyLiquid in the blue base playing as Zerg. Alright, let's get it back to about normal speed here. So again, you see that hatchery first from the Zerg player. He's got his pool down, he's got his gas up. Meanwhile, we get a standard, first gate, cyber core, second gate going up from the Protoss here. Both these players, this game was played right at the start of Season 5. Both these players are Diamond players. So we do see some pretty good play in general here. You see Jaegan in the red kind of mention that, hey, almost like an playing 1v1, not doing so well. But I really do think he does a good job, and we're going to highlight the strategy element here in that the way he lays force fields, and the Zerg strategy element, the way he's able to stay ahead in economy and mass roaches and festers for the ultimate win here. So this guy is just pretty much content to roam around here and keep the vision up. We got Overlord in here, keeping sight on the natural, while the Zerg player starts to get his natural saturated. Getting that queen out, larva injects going in. Obviously super important for any Zerg player. Let's take a look at... Nope, that's worker supply here. So we're at 23-23, so both these guys staying right on top of their workers. See, Fuzzy just took the slight advantage there at 26. And Army's pretty even as well. Okay. So Pylon goes down there to keep vision in that dark corner. Good idea on this map. We got some Zerglings just basically scouting. They're going to push back out. Nope, wrong button. And we'll see them actually split apart here and take both these towers on the map. Excuse me. I'll try to keep my coughing down to a minimum there. A little sick this holiday season. So the Zerg player picks up both the towers, creates some nice vision across the map there. Gets his crawler down to protect his natural. That's smart when you're going expansion first. And then you're going to see him get his Roach Warren here as well. Meanwhile, the Protoss player starts to kind of build up not a pure, what I like to call the OG SMC opener, where he just basically gets a shit ton of sentries. And that's a smart opener against any Zerg player. Sentries are just super key in terms of keeping Zerglings, from being able to use their melee attack, while your range units, like the sentries, like the stalkers, are able to zap them there. So Jaegan is now going to go ahead and take his natural. I didn't see him scout. I don't know that he actually scouted that Fuzzy went fast expansion here. I might have missed that. My bad if I did. But in any case, I think he feels like he's got a large enough army to safely take that expansion, whether or not he knows Zerg's on one base or not. So these Stalkers are going to move out. They want to take control of their near tower here. Good play here. We do have this OV in the corner here, keeping some light vision there. Certainly not enough to see the expansion, but I do believe he knew it was coming when he sent those Lings in to scout. So here we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentries posted up there. And this Ling does kind of come in and kind of hide right there in the shadows. Pretty sneaky right there. See, if we turn just Fuzzy's vision on, he can clearly see that expansion going up. Meanwhile, we're getting some creep spread down here by the Zerg player. He's already taken his third base up here on the higher ground. And again, that's one of the strategy elements we wanted to talk about, right? As a Zerg player, you always want to stay ahead in economy, and as long as you know it's safe to do so, just go ahead and expand like a motherfucker. Stay up on those drone counts, use crawlers to protect those bases, and really just stay ahead in economy at all times. If we look at income, we can see, you know, Fuzzy healthily ahead of the red player Jaegan here, which is where you want to be as a Zerg player against any race. Okay, I also like this here too. You do not see this in a lot lower level play in gold, even platinum leagues. Use your structures to protect yourselves, particularly against Zerg when they can move in so fast with links and other units. So you can see he's built himself up a nice little wall here along the edge to kind of shield off his natural. He can lay down force fields with these sentries in these gaps, keep everything at bay. I think that's just smart play, and again, you just do not see that in the lower leagues, right? So use your structures to your advantage to create walls, to create choke points, keep things lively. See this stalker here, he's picking on this Ovi. Fuzzy's going to push out some roaches to kind of ward that off. Does have vision over here on the third base, so Jaegan knows what's going down. And you can see, you know, just in terms of supply, Fuzzy is ahead, 110 to 84 here, 110 to 82 really. Jaegan is researching his attack. Typically Protoss wants to go for that armor first, but as long as you're getting upgrades, I'm not going to criticize. And you can see things generally starting to swell here. Now, at this point, I'm not sure, you know, obviously Jaegan has vision over here. He doesn't really know what sort of army Fuzzy's looking at. He does know he's on 3 well-saturated bases, you know, probably time to start thinking about taking a third. But, you know, can't speak to his strategy. Gonna get blinked now at about 12 minutes in. You can see he pushed out some early immortals there, and that's likely in response to what his stalker scouted as a heavy roach build. So I'm going to send 2 stalkers down here and follow these guys. Looks like they're looking about taking that tower back. Notice Jaegan always likes to send those guys in pairs to scout. I don't know if that's just the buddy system in play there, or they feel safer or what. We're going to keep vision on this area while he pushes out the rest of his army to check that out. And that's smart play there too. I mean, think about that strategy, right? He didn't push his entire army out and kill the vision. He pushed some initial scouts out, kill that vision, now bring your army in, you know, keep as much surprise as you can here. So he wants to move around to check out that base that his, what the fuck are those things called? Anyway, so this is what I'm talking about here. Here we got a bunch of force fields going down. I mean, literally a shit ton of force fields. And they're able to wall off this entire area here, and this much smaller army is able to fend off all those roaches. Now he's saying, okay, you know, I was able to kill that. Let me get to the high ground. Let me throw down some more force fields and block that. As my buddy Oxplosion says, you know, fucking Protoss, for 50 minerals and 100 gas, they can edit the map, which is true, right? You can throw down that force field for, once those sentries are made, 50 minerals, 100 gas, then just energy at that point to literally edit the map and have a way. And again, this much smaller army able to keep picking at these roaches here. Another force field goes down there, and ultimately Fuzzy says, hey, you know, it's not worth it. I'm just losing this skirmish. I'm going to pull back. See what the damage done there. You can see Jaegan's at 35 to 15 units killed there, and really that's all done to that force field play in those sentries. So sentries play such a huge role there. Now Fuzzy's not quite sure. He's starting to bring some infestors into the mix here. These guys are ultimately going to go down. That fungal is just going to lock them in place there while those roaches move up. Here Jaegan's taking his third base, and again, you know, use your structures to your advantage, create a nice wall there, laying down some photon cannons to keep that area secure from any Zerglings rushing in or up that ramp. See these Zerglings kind of sitting here. I think they tried to get up that ramp and they got stuck, and so they reallocated there. Meanwhile, Fuzzy's getting that fourth base back. We got a bunch of shit going on. I think he's laughing about his, oh, maybe that hole right there where those lings were able to get in. So Jaegan moves his army up there to protect his third base. He does have an observer down here on these roaches to keep an eye on what's going on. At this point, Fuzzy's just looking to saturate all 4 bases and build up this roach fester army. And this is the second part of the strategy you want to highlight. You know, Infestors just so powerful, especially when you're trying to get in against those sentries that are blocking you. You want to zap them with that fungal. Here we got some lings kind of causing a little bit of harassment there. They're able to take out a few probes before they get shut down there. But if you can't get them in one wall, hey, go around the other side, right? So Jaegan pulling his whole army up there. It's safe to do that. He does have, again, vision down here. However, Fuzzy's just mashing quite the force down here. Let's see what he's got on these roaches. He's just got the +1 attack. And looks like we got +2 attack and +1 armor going down there as well. So he is going to push out those roaches. Jaegan should know that. He's got the high ground here. He needs to come down and protect his natural and his main. He's going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to see kind of the last clash here. So, getting in position, smart thing to do when you know you're going to be facing a bunch of fucking force fields. I'd like to see those shields up a little bit closer to walling a little bit better. But again, it doesn't matter. He was able to get some fungal down in there. These festers are able to launch their infested Terran right over those force fields anyway, launching more into the background there. And some good concave, some good micro going down there. So ultimately, you know, what won for the Zerg here in this was staying ahead in economy, keeping as good a map control as he had. This creep spread was also very good. I think he had 1 queen just kind of dedicated to creep spread. Again, you don't see that a lot in lower level play. Have that extra queen laying down these fucking globby things, creep termers, to get that spread. You don't have observers as Zerg. You don't have cheap air units like Medivacs or Vikings. So creep is really what you want to use for your vision there. So good play from both players here. Again, we saw some nice things with those force fields. Always have a lot of early sentries in PvZ. And then in the end, what we ultimately saw was just the power of the Zerg economy and a Roach Fester build there that panned out very well. Again, this is diamond level play, so for most of our lower level viewers, I think there's a lot of things you can pick up and learn from this. Use your structures to your advantage to block ramps when you're facing Zerg, and as Zerg, conversely, stay ahead in economy, stay ahead in bases, keep your creep spread up, and know your counters, right? Roach Fester was just a tremendous build here. What the Protoss player could have done was maybe had some Colossus there. Colossus worked very well behind force fields. Knowing that this player early on was using a lot of force fields in that first battle we saw over here, I think Fuzzy knew that, hey, I'm gonna get some festers. I'm gonna throw down some fungal when I can, and when I need to, I can just launch infested Terrans right over the force fields. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck out there. Check out sc2strat.net for a bunch of guides, videos, and more.